Nation, I'm Sam here again from A Bear and a Bee Books, and today I have kind of a two-parter book haul for you. First is kind of a spooky gothic haul. Recently I went to Books A Million here in my area, and I'm a member, and they were having some really good deals on classics, gothic stories, and things for the season. So I picked up a couple and wanted to share them with you. The first one is this one here. Beautiful book. It's The Essential Tales of H.P. Lovecraft. My little brother reads not quite as much as I do, but he does enjoy reading. And his favorite author is H.P. Lovecraft. And he for years has been telling me, Sissy, you need to read H.P. Lovecraft. Are you going to get some Lovecraft? Are you going to get some love? So I finally picked up one and I'm going to give it a shot. This is like a collection of short stories. So I'm interested to see what it's all about. Next I have here Classic Tales of Horror by Edgar Allan Poe. I did study Poe in high school. I don't know if we studied it at college, but we did study it in high school. I remember enjoying it back then, and I thought it's been quite some time since I've given any of his works a read, so I thought it was a good time of the year to pick one of his up. Finally, I have Classic Ghost Stories, a collection of chilling supernatural tales, and that picture on the front reminds me of Psycho in the whole shower scene. And when I was younger, I think we went to Universal and they used to have this whole like Alfred Hitchcock, I don't know if anybody else remembers, but they used to do this whole like scene for you in the shower, and there was like the house you could go take pictures of, and I just remember being fascinated with it as a little girl. I'm a total wuss now, but when I was younger I used to watch more horror and things like that. My father was pretty into it. I just remember being fascinated with it. I do still like the classics, so I do still like Hitchcock, but I am much more of a wuss than I used to be. I saw this and it reminded me of that. It's got things by Oscar Wilde in here. It has Robert Louis Stevenson. It has Nathaniel Hawthorne, and it gets really great reviews. There are not a lot. I think there's only maybe like 3 reviews or something on Goodreads, but they were all really good, so I thought, why not give it a shot? And then the next two are, well, one's kind of gothic and the other one just seemed to fit the mood I was in, so I picked it up. The first one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and I have read this, but I didn't own my own copy, so I thought I wanted to pick one up. This copy is actually really beautiful. It kind of has like grays and purples, and this is the Lifetime Library edition. It's just a nice gray on the inside, and then on the spine is this beautiful silver. It's just a really nice copy of the book, and I did like it when I read it, and I'd been thinking about reading it again. The moors just seemed to call to me this time of the year. It's been years and years since I read it. I've been trying to get to Jane Eyre. I have not read Jane Eyre yet, and I want to get to Anne Bronte as well. This is the only one of the Brontes that I've read, but I remember being all wrapped up in it. I love gothic stories. And finally, the one I picked up that day, Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. And again, these colors really just appealed to me. I don't know if it's new, but they had a bunch of these in this collection here at Books A Million. I like how they have like the portraits and like they're flipped kind of. This one looks more like a cameo, and then the colors on the back, and there's like flowers up here. It just really appealed to me, and I've seen a couple people review this lately on BookTube. A couple of the girls that are doing the Victober, so I thought I would pick it up and give it a shot. And another day when I happened to stop by there, they were having their buy 2 get 1 free special, and since I'm a member I get like an additional percentage off of that, plus I had a 5 for 25 coupon. So you see how all these things led to me picking up 3 more books. The first one's also kind of in the same spooky theme, and that is Death Comes to Pemberley, and that's by P.D. James. Now this, I've seen the movie. I didn't even know it was a thing. I found the movie one day and watched it and loved it. My mother-in-law really enjoys it as well. And I'd been meaning to pick up the book, but I hadn't stumbled across it anywhere. And then I saw it for this sale, so I had to snatch it up. I think it was the last one. Love that carriage on the front. Next I have an author I have read before, and I think I gave both of her books 5 stars. Her Handmaid's Tale is probably currently my favorite book. I read it many years ago, but it never left me. And I did just watch the series on Hulu, and like, I thought the book was heavy. That really brought it to life, and ooh, so I imagine one day I'll have to reread the book. But obviously it's not a happy story, but I think it's one that's important. As a woman, I think it was something that I read at the right time. I was a young woman when I read it, and I found it to be really impactful. So anyway, the other book I heard that I picked up was Oryx and Crake. I've heard really great things about this one. I think I heard Mercedes on Mercy's Bookish Musings talking about this one as well, but I've heard about it in a lot of different places. I've been meaning to get it for years, and I always, like, I'm looking for the trilogy, and I want the covers to match, and whenever I find them, I find different matching covers. So when I saw this one in the sale, and I knew it was the first one, I just decided to pick it up. And then the third book I got that day was The Nix by Nathan Hill. And this is a bit of a chunkster. I think it was in one of the book awards recently, but I could be wrong. But this one has been getting a lot of buzz. It sounds really interesting. I like anything that has a kind of historical fiction, and I think this takes place either during the 60s or the 70s. It seemed really interesting when I heard about it initially, and I saw it on the sale rack and I grabbed it. Next is kind of just a mishmash of either new releases I picked up or books that I've been interested in. The first one I have here is Roar by Cora Carmack, and this one I think I actually picked up at our Costco here in the area. Sometimes they have good deals on newer release books. I had heard good things about this one on BookTube, so I thought I would give it a chance. I like elemental fantasy stories, and I believe this is a YA elemental fantasy story, so it looked interesting and I had heard good things, so I picked it up. Next we have My Absolute Darling by Gabriel Talent. Number one, this cover is amazing. I love the outdoors, I love trees, I love hiking, so this really called to me. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Also, I think it was Erica the Lonesome Reader was talking about it, and I really enjoy his channel. And number three, I believe it's also set in Northern California. My husband and I went there a few years ago. It's just beautiful. I love to hike. I love to be outdoors. We went on like a 25-mile hike up in the redwoods. We got there late one night, so we ended up driving through the forest at night, and it was a pretty intense experience. The trees are amazing. The different hikes there, the different things you can see, it's really impactful. So since that was the setting of this novel, it really called to me. Next, I have Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo, and this has been definitely making the rounds here on BookTube. This is the US cover, I believe. I've seen the UK cover a lot more. It's like a white with green, but this I think came out in the US this year. It was shortlisted for the Bailey's Prize in 2017 as well. Yeah, it was published here in the States in 2017. I don't know if the one for the UK was published in 2016, but anyway, this just came out here. This story appealed to me right away when I heard about the Bailey's shortlist. It is about a woman, and she's married, and her culture actually encourages polygamy. Her and her husband, it's just the two of them for the longest time, but she's having a hard time conceiving a child, and so the family starts to put all these pressures on her. It sounds really interesting, really like a look at an intimate part of life. Second to last, I have a book here that I remember seeing last year, getting ready to come out, and I was so excited about it. It's called The Arsonist, and it's by Stephanie Oakes. I like Gothic, I like really dark YA fiction, and this one seems like it would be really up my alley. I don't know a lot about it, and honestly with this one I don't want to know a lot about it. I know that it involves fire, obviously, and some tragedy and things like that, but I don't really want to know much more. I just want to delve right into it, and I think that cover is just amazing. And the last book I have here, I think this is the only one that wasn't a 2017 release from that last stack. I've been eyeing this one for a long time. Like most people, I love foxes. I find since I've been on BookTube, a lot of people love foxes. I'm a big fan for anything fluffy mostly, so cats, dogs, foxes, otters, owls, you name it. This cover just pulled me in. I don't know if you can see the details, but it's a fox, and then like in the fox is like a whole town, and it's all done in fall covers. It's just so beautiful. And this is by Sasha Stanisic. So that's all the books I have here for my haul today. I'm so bad. A lot of times when I get books before I haul them, since I just started my channel like within the past 6 months or something, I put them away before I remember to haul them. So I am going to be doing, I mentioned below in one of my videos, you can check it out, something called a shelf haul, and that's because I have such a huge collection, and I know I haven't shown maybe even a tenth of these books on my channel yet. So I'm going to do a shelf haul, which is going to be a combination of hauls and like a shelf tour. So look forward to that. That'll be coming within the next couple of months. So I hope to see everyone again soon. If you enjoyed my content today, please go ahead and click subscribe down below. If you're interested in any of these books, or you'd like me to read any of them and talk about them sooner, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And thank you all for being here with me today. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.